off with, I want to say congratulations on your brand new single, Offerings. We're about to play it on our show for the very first time, so congratulations.
Dude, thank you so much. It's gotten a lot of love. We're really pumped about it.
So, mate, seeing a lot of Aussies out there are just starting to hear your music for the first time. Tell us a little bit about the history of the band and how you guys all got together.
So A Moment's Notice actually started off originally as a solo project. The band wasn't supposed to leave the internet, and it was supposed to be just my solo thing with help with Nick Miller from The Skylight Drive, producing as well as helping me out with the guitar riffs. And him and I got together, and it just kind of organically worked together, and we released 2 songs together. And after the second single came out and it broke 3,000 streams, we were like, I think we're onto something. And the rest of the members, they kind of like reached out, every like one of them at different times. Jordan came in pretty much right after we dropped the second single, and then David followed, and Johnny had joined after David. And so we had a pretty solid lineup. We had another bassist at the time, and it just wasn't working out with his like work life and his his family, and he parted ways with us, and it was totally okay. We're still friends with him. But then Johnny's friend Sergio was a guitarist, and we asked him if he wanted to play bass, and it was right as we finished Offerings, and it was the first song that we ever did as a band as a whole. And yeah, we about a week and a half, 2 weeks later, we ended up going to Los Angeles and filming the music video for it, and we just had so much chemistry, and that's kind of how this all started. And now we're working on the record. It's officially done today, so
awesome.
We're pretty pumped. So yeah, it's been a journey.
So it means a lot when people are out there listening to your music, but what did that mean to you personally when you had musicians reaching out to you, wanting to work with you because they believed in your project?
It was a pretty surreal moment. I had taken 13 years off of music, and as a vocalist, we're pretty hypercritical about everything we do, what we say, how we say it in our songs, how it's relatable. But when big artists that have internationally toured, or big acts have done things and they're all super supportive of you, I'm a little bit overwhelmed by it sometimes, I would say. Yep. I think it's just super heartwarming, like the amount of support we get, and people all over the world that are supportive of us, no matter how big or small they are. Like it's a very humbling experience, because I never intended it to actually be anything. I was just doing it for fun, and now, we get asked to do a lot of things that are coming up in the future that are in the talks, and we just don't believe half the time that it's even happening. And we're thrilled that we have that support from everyone, definitely, including musicians.
And the last couple of years has been a really, really difficult time for artists to get their music noticed as well, because of all the things that have been going on with the pandemic and things like that. But you guys seem to attract a pretty loyal fan base very, very quickly. Do you feel that you did things differently to other artists out there to make that happen?
Yeah. I feel like there was a moment that I was talking to Nick, and we joked about it, and we said, what was the name going to be? And I was like, I don't know, man. I'm just trying to start this at a moment's notice. And he was just like, that's it. And we had joked about it, and everyone's like, dude, I think that's the name. And just connecting. I don't know. It's such a complicated thought process for me, to even just fathom any of the things that are going on every day.
Yeah.
I just I don't know. It just organically worked, and I don't know why it did the way it did. People just love our music, and I wanted to take the old metalcore sound that I had played 13 years ago with a modern twist, and really just push. And it seems like metalcore is kind of having a revival right now. And I was like, dude, this is perfect timing. And it happened kind of on accident. Like, I didn't really intend on it. I didn't do anything really crazy. We market a lot, so we are pretty active on social media. We talk to people. I network a lot. It just, I don't know, it got out there, and, you know, now we're, like, super grateful. We're about to play our first show in August, and the show's almost sold out.
That's
already,
amazing.
So.
Yeah. The success of the first two singles, did that make it easier or harder then to work on the rest of the EP?
I think it was a little bit of both. We were carrying the momentum of what the previous singles had done as a solo project, but the guys all had their vision as well. And I was super open to hearing what everyone said, and we all were playing off of each other. But at the same time, it was tough because, you know, Nick is such a talented guitarist and widely known. And these guys had to go from being a local band to basically playing music that's better than a guy that's been playing for the last 15, 16 years and writing better songs than him.
Yeah.
And they pushed themselves. And that was, I think, like the hardest part. And even me vocally, I started taking vocal lessons. I started writing a lot more. I started figuring out and listening to the world and seeing what's going on today. Like, what are people talking about? What are people feeling? And, like, how do I relate to that? Or what do I feel is needed to be talked about? And when we released Offerings was about people just doubting that at the age of 31 that I was just going to come out of the blue and I was going to do it all over again. And nobody had seen me do this in a while, and I was like, no, like, you know, I'd rather end it all than say I'm not going to do it ever again. Like, yeah. I forgot how much I actually missed this. So a little bit of both. It was easy, but it was also hard, and a lot of that weight did fall on me, as well as the other guys. And so we tried to push past our limits that we even thought were possible.
Definitely. Offerings is such a personal track for you. Did it feel like a bit of a relief getting those words out there, like to let them out of your system, whether it was onto the page or then out through the mic when you were recording it?
I think a lot of that had to do with, it was more of, I think after the finished product was done, the music video was done, it didn't resonate with me until the song went live and it was shared so many times, and I was blown away. But, you know, people were like, that intro, it was like you had a couple seconds to gain our attention and you just grabbed it, and what you said, like, we felt it.
Yeah.
And you actually can hear what I'm saying and how I'm saying it, rather than just traditional style screaming. Sometimes can be very incoherent for people to understand, but everybody can understand what I'm screaming.
Yeah.
And I wanted to put that out there so that people could relate to it a little bit easier, even if they weren't into the genre. So it felt more real once it was out there, and the feedback started happening, and we realized we were really onto something.
Definitely. Now, you found yourself nominated for a Central Valley Music Award as well. Tell us a little bit about how that's come about and what that means to you.
So the Central Valley Music Awards was like kind of like something that kind of blindsided us. I don't know who nominated us, but somebody did nominate us, and as a band that only has 3 songs out, it was kind of crazy to hear that we were even nominated. But you know, we're kind of, that one still is like new to us. It only like really got announced a couple of days ago, and we're still. Well, I was just talking to my bassist about it, and we're kind of shocked.
Yeah.
You know, the band that won the year prior, we're actually playing our EP release show with, and they've even said, they're like, damn, you guys are on it this year, and they were like, yeah, we might not win. And that was like that was kind of mind-blowing, because they're a really good band, they're talented artists, but to hear them being like, I don't know, man, you guys kind of just came out the gate swinging and you haven't stopped since. It was like, they were like, we might actually lose this like to you guys, and we're like, we haven't been around as long. So yeah, that whole award ceremony is going to be crazy. And if we win, we're giving the award to our producer slash manager, Nick Miller, because without him, none of this could have even been a possibility.
Definitely. Now, the EP is at the moment scheduled to drop in August, and you've got the launch in August as well. What are your plans after that? Are you hoping to get out and do a bit more of a tour around the US and perhaps even go international after that?
Yeah, so we're going to be, we just started talking about it. We're working on it right now. We're releasing another single here probably this month or early next month, probably in the beginning of it, if anything. But after that, we've already started working on a full-length album. But we have some things in the talks for the end of the year. We're just kind of waiting on it. There are some tours that are being talked about, as well as one international that might happen. We just don't know yet. It's kind of up in the air, and managers and booking agents and all those have to talk to each other, and we're kind of just up in the air with it. But it's just really, we're just kind of waiting around to see what the next card is dealt to us. As somebody said recently, we didn't really get a lot of time to be a local band. We kind of got really thrown into the fire really fast, and we're finding ourselves to be a potential national and international act very early in the game, so we're grateful for that. So definitely there's some things in the talks, but I can't speak too much on it just because nothing's set in stone yet.
Yeah, definitely. Well, we are going to play Offerings on our show right now, so what would you like to say to everybody out there before they take a listen to Offerings?
Don't be surprised if it completely confuses you. It gets pretty heavy. For a metalcore band, we're a lot heavier than a lot of people, and just don't let anybody ever tell you to not be you and do what you want to do. Like, if you're gonna dream big and keep chasing it, because you're the controller of your own destiny.